Sir, you've been quoted as saying that the COVID-19 crisis should not be compounded by a learning crisis, and that of course learning is not the same as schooling. I think we all agree. We all agree with with these concepts. But I think the question as well for most people is, while we agree with that, are we right now ready for an August 24 opening? Is the infrastructure in place? Are the teachers ready? And so on down the line.
And a June 1 enrollment.
And that too.
Yeah.
A few days away.
Yeah. No, we're definitely. I'll start by saying that we're not quite ready, but we are working to get ready. Okay, that's the first. The second is if you do postpone, and we've already postponed to August 24.
Mm-hmm.
The question then asked is those who want to postpone it further, including a number of, well, at least one congressman who's on record saying, postpone it for the year. I mean, that's pretty drastic to stop everything. So we're trying to figure out, DepEd's trying to figure it out, private schools are trying to figure it out. How do we make this happen? How do we make the school year happen? And how do we make it such that we don't need to be, if we can't do face-to-face, can we do other modes
modalities,
of meeting up? And that's what everybody is trying to do. We're not giving up on the school year just yet because we think, those of us in the education sector, giving up on the school year and stopping it altogether, I think is going to be pretty drastic.
Okay,
people are talking about a blended form of teaching, learning. How feasible is that? I know it's never been done before. Under these circumstances, people are saying something is better than nothing, and we should really explore all these blended learning modes. How feasible is it?
Actually, blended learning is not new. It's being done in other countries. We're behind the curve on this one. For the Philippines, we're not in a. We really, very few schools have actually gone into blended learning. What blended is basically a mix between face-to-face classroom experience and what we call distance learning, or distance learning, where the materials are provided and you do the work, or the kids do the work offline or in some other, whether it is what do you call this, internet-based or based on packets. By the way, DepEd is looking at packet-based because many of the schools don't have connectivity, or the kids don't have connectivity at home, or the bandwidth is not sufficient. So,
okay. So on when you're talking about packet-based, somebody will have to supervise them, right? Because I assume that means that the education materials will be given or sent or picked up by the parents for the students to work on.
Yes.
Who will be supervising them if they're offline?
Okay. Here's what's being experimented this summer in together with DepEd NCR in Manila, in Tondo, in fact. There's a group that I'm involved with. It's a learning center, and they have been doing a tutorial program with DepEd kids for a number of years now. There was supposed to be a summer program, which had to be stopped or couldn't take off because of the quarantine. And so what they did was the packets, the learning materials were reproduced into packets, and they were distributed through, in this case, a network of nanays. And what happened was, this is the experiment this summer, which DepEd NCR is looking at. Packets go out, They are distributed to the community center, which is where the learning center, which is basically a community center. The nanays come and they pick up the packets. Goes home, they have it for a week, and then it's when they come to pick up the next set of packets at the end of the following week, they bring the work that the kids do. That goes back. So it goes back and forth that way. It's a career system. Okay.
Yes.
Now, to support that, what the Learning Center has done is they've also put up a Facebook Messenger. Using Facebook Messenger, they can communicate with the nanays. And the nanays, that
So
way,
may online pa rin siya. Meron pa rin siyang
Yes.
digital element.
yes, in that case, or what happens is the tutors will be at the learning center, so that the nanays, if they can't connect, can meet up with them in the center and bring.
Sir, how many? What's the ratio here? How many tutors are in the learning center serving how many students in that one particular community, for example?
Okay. In the Tondo Center, what I recall is that there are 4 who are on the staff of the learning center, and then there are a number of volunteers. I don't know how many volunteers there are, and there are at this point in the summer program roughly about 200 kids who are coming in and out. So it's a pilot. That's why the learning center is trying to see how they can build the efficiencies, and together with DepEd NCR, they are starting at the end of, in fact, in the beginning of June, there's 1,000 teachers who are going to start a training program on that particular arrangement to see how we can scale it.